and welcome to Vanilla Garden of Judgment. It's time for Chapter 4, Soyokaze-Breeze. Lynx here, by the way. Let's see. I mean, there's only Soyo left, so it's gonna be about her, right? It was the same dream as before. I'd seen this before. After the sun had fallen, I'd held hands with her, and we'd watch the stars in the sky together. What's with then? What? Gorgeous, isn't it? Would they reply in return back then? Yeah, they are. That's pretty much what I'd said. I was happy to see her eyes sparkle with joy. It was fun today. Thanks for taking me here. It really made me feel better, I think. Stop it. I knew, just to drive me in the corner, I was going to have to see more of my past, wasn't I? I'd like to come back, next year, with you. Would we be able to go? We'd be able to go, won't we? Stop. There is that awkward smile again. Sorry, it's my fault. When I'm right, I'll hopefully be able to let you smile normal again. Don't show me this again. Stop, 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 stop! Don't ruin my memories. Proudly scream, but I was in a struggle. I writhed in pain, trapped in an endless void. In this noiseless space, I could only hear my own pitiful groaning. I was being shown an illusion. I knew it, and yet I still reached out to touch her. I reached and came up empty. Of course, this was just a dream. I couldn't get back the time I spent. I couldn't redo my past. These memories were long past. If I was looking to the future, I would need to recollect them. I was being shown these memories, purposefully, so I would remember what I had done wrong. Why would someone do this? What in the hell would this lead to, if anything? What would they get from it? Please stop it. I want to just live in peace. I already knew the full weight of my sins. How many times did I need to apologize to be forgiven? How long did I need to be blamed for my actions? To be told that those who do not own anything cannot protect anything. If I had just the slightest bit of courage, would it have led to a different outcome? Would I not have the regret not having saved the situation? Probably yes.
Kazami, I'll be late today. You can go ahead and sleep.
I'll be late. What was he doing without me, and with who? I didn't know. I didn't want to doubt him. Despite feeling malice at his words, I forced my brightest smile on my face. Alright, do be off now, dear. The door closed with a click. A silence remained afterwards. I was all alone. Having sent him off, I stood a while in that silent space. I didn't sleep with my husband once since being married to him. What? It had already been 4 years. I was uneasy about a lot of things. Things felt off, and I felt something bad coming. What was it that he was late coming home recently? In the beginning of our marriage, he would come home when it began to get dark outside. It was for that reason. I was even more afraid. Don't bait a fish you've already caught. Many will lose interest when you've made them yours. Those were things I would hear often from the people. I would not lose interest. If I was interested in someone, I would continuously be. I know that. Even if not, I mean, still. I mean, this guy clearly cheats, yeah. But that's something I would not allow myself to do. Like, you are the lowest of scum if you do so. In my eyes. I mean, no. I guess from chapter 2 it's even lower than the lowest, but yeah. If those phrases apply to my current situation, then I was a real fish who was nearing starvation. I would always do the housework while waiting for my husband. Would the fish ever receive its bait? I don't know, for I still hoped. I don't know what I would do if I cast away that hope. I was scared most of all by that. So I stopped thinking about it. I want to make stew for dinner, but that was a meaningless thought. After all, my husband would simply eat before coming home. Yet even knowing he wouldn't eat dinner, I never gave up on making it for him. He could possibly make a change of plans and come home hungry. It was a rare possibility. Preparing for the unlikely, I put my all into cooking dinner. That was a lie. It was just an excuse. I didn't want to consider that my husband could be cheating. If I did, that would mean that I would have to recognize that I didn't trust him. I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't speak of it. I especially couldn't ask for advice. If I put it into the words, what if it became true, like a spell? I was terribly afraid of the faults becoming reality because of me. If I could, I wanted it to be my mind playing tricks on me. I couldn't help but wish for that. I wouldn't go so far as to ask my husband to sleep with me. I knew that my lack of charm was my greatest fault. You have a lot of charm, girl, so stop. What I had really wanted most of all was for him to come home and hold me tightly. That was it. Without going anyplace else, if he came home straight to me, I would be as happy as I could be. I would do that. Today too, I waited for his return, holding back the tears that threatened to spill over countless times.
Welcome back, darling. You must be tired from work.
The town was quiet as the sun began to rise over the horizon. My husband looks displeased at seeing I had waited for him to return.
I told you to go ahead and sleep.
I'm sorry, dear. I made dinner. Are you hungry?
I ate already. I told you not to make any. I'm going to take a shower and sleep.
What a piece of shit of a husband. I hesitated, unable to find words. My husband took off his suit and headed to the bath with quick steps.
It seems that he won't ever pay me attention.
Dump him. I whispered that to myself derisively. He did not react. He either did not hear or was ignoring me. I felt as if a canyon had opened up between us. After getting ready for bed, my husband went under the covers straight away. He fell asleep before I could even try to talk to him. Yeah, he was tired from work. He was working hard to support us. He worked himself to the bone each day. Yeah, right. He couldn't possibly be cheating. Yeah, right. I knew that, but I felt something was missing. I felt as if I was in solitude. We were only chipping away at each other, each and every day. We worked and built up the exhaustion. Then what waited afterward? There was no room for us to love each other. We had no room to even birth a child. I mean, that's not really a problem. Would these days continue without end? What was wrong with this country? Where we headed towards destruction? Were we just born to die? What was happiness? The answer would slip from my hands as if it were thrown to a far
away dimension.
We would disappear without knowing why we were born. No matter what happened, I never gained self-confidence. My future was all moody. A leaf without meaning. A fruit untouched, left to rot. Wow. I mean, you just got a piece of shit husband. There's a problem. Even if I lost the ability to smile, I would sometimes imagine a brighter future for myself. If us humans didn't have hope, we can't live on. If someone could take this loneliness... Oi! I didn't click! Why did it jump? What did she say? Ah... Oh... Wait, what? If someone could take this loneliness of mine head on...
Blanco, good morning.
Ohio! Having given our morning greetings, Soy and I sit down table and have our breakfast. The breakfast doesn't go down easy, and I had doubts I could finish everything. Apparently my body had taken more damage from the current situation than I thought it had.
I suppose it's just the two of us now. We will no longer see our Lilith around, will we?
Soya, as usual, had tucked her chin with a sad expression on her face. Did Soyo hate me for yesterday? For choosing not to look for Lilith?
What will happen to us now? Will one of us disappear as well? Blanco, I beg of you. Please do not leave me alone. Please do not go anywhere without me. I can't be alone. I can't be lonely anymore.
I mean, If you think about it, that was her thing there, loneliness. So ask me this play. Technically for all of them it was sort of loneliness. Right? I mean, with Sima, I mean, she was basically bullied, not accepted by anyone really, even her family, and I mean, she was looking for someone to be there. Technically not for her, but for her books as well. But I think if it was actual friend as well, it would be okay, right? And besides, she said she was looking for a friend. Yeah. Then we had Lilith, who basically, you know, Technic was claiming, yeah, I didn't feel love or anything, but you know, if you've run into the correct person, it would change. So I think she was looking for that, but without being conscious of the fact. And over here, I mean, it's obvious that she felt lonely because her piece of shit husband was piece of shit. And basically was shunning her aside, right? It's ridiculous. Anyway. So you ask me this plaintively, tears growing her eyes. What were we, and where were we destined to go? Why did we disappear? I had no answers to those questions. Not a thing had been explained to me. It was natural to feel uneasy in such a situation. Even I was uneasy. I couldn't believe that I was living without her even after Sima and Lilith had disappeared at my fault. What was I? Here, all are cleansed of their sins. Cleansed of their sins. I could do anything. So what? What could I do? What could I aim for? What was I supposed to be? Some god? It will be okay. I won't go away.
What I'm going to say is the fact that I don't remember which save point was the last one. I think this one. So I will overwrite here.
I won't go away.
Boop. Thank you, Blanco. I'm glad you're such a kind person. I'm happy, even if that was a lie just to set me at ease. You see, I'm not very good at believing in others. That was rude, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Doubting others. It wasn't a bad thing in itself, rather it was necessary in life. Exactly. You have to be cautious. It was important to believe in others, but in the roller coaster that is life, you couldn't get by with just that. I thought it was right of Soyo to doubt me. Even if she was shy, spoke little, and held a deep disbelief of people around her, I knew that she wouldn't hurt me. Probably.
I'm sad that Sima and Relief have went away, but it simply won't do to keep brooding.
Should I say brooding?
I've got to think positively. I've got to do my best.
That's right. Regardless of what was happening, we only could think positively. This wasn't the time to regret Sima and Lilith's loss. We had to think of something. We had to figure out how we would live, just the two of us from here on out. I mean, yeah. Kind of.
Blanco, what kind of person are you?
Huh? So whispered this while we were side by side, doing the laundry. Had she become interested in me? She still has the ring for. Did you notice that? When I thought about it, I realized that I hadn't spent much time with Soyo since coming to the castle. We only saw each other when we ate, and we hadn't spoken much more than acquaintances would. As a result, I didn't know much about her. Then we were same. It would be safe to assume we were on equal footing.
My apologies. It's simply I haven't had much opportunity to speak with you, Blanco, since it's just the two of us now. I just happened to remember that. I also just happened to think that I'd like to know more about you. Would that be a problem?
Sure, it would be a problem. No, it would not. Yeah, if it's you, then it's okay.
Really? I'm so happy. Please let me know more about yourself.
Here's the thing. He's amnesiac. I remembered something when I saw Soyo's extraordinary happy expression. I was stricken with some sort of déjà vu. Where had I been? Where had I seen it? That expression.
Huh?
Well, I had been thinking, so I made a sound as if she remembered something.
This seems, doesn't seem like we're newlyweds right now.
Huh?
I mean, since it is just the two of us.
I mean, I don't complain about what you just said. Soya suddenly said something outrageous.
Oh, I'm sorry. How silly of me. I shouldn't have said that.
Was Soyo not married? Was the ring on her left ring finger a decoration? Had she said it on purpose? Or had it slipped? I didn't know her true intentions, but any guy would start to feel conscious when told that by a beautiful young woman. Yeah? I tried to hide my red hot face from Soya behind white sheets. What white sheets? I did say in the beginning, I think that Soyo, like, was at least visually wise my favorite girl, right?
Darling, I want a child.
Once I had gotten the courage to tell my husband this, because if I had, my dreams would never become reality. I poured out what had been in my heart a while to my husband. But my husband's response had been indifferent. It had almost been 4 years since we'd built? Okay, I was nearly 30 years old. Wait, is built a word? I have to check quickly. Built. Yes, it is, but it definitely not means what they wanted here to have the meaning of. I mean, because it was earlier said that they got married 4 years ago, right? So, whatever.
Is it too early?
That wasn't the case. It wasn't as if we weren't the right age to birth a child. I knew that it would be difficult physically to give birth in my 30s. In society, it would be called the late childbirth. Was it fun? Honestly, I think like this thing is just a thing actually in Japan. Or maybe in the Asian countries, because I don't know, over here it doesn't matter. Oh boy. That's sure. I mean, sure, from the family we hear, oh, when will we get a grandchild or grandchild? Never. That was why I was anxious. I also was suspicious. I thought that my husband no longer saw me as a wife. That bastard. I had begun to feel that our marriage had hit its limit. I was losing my grip, having to hold myself back for so long. I couldn't ask anyone else for help either. And then again, I mean, I think children are not really that important of a factor when it comes to marriages as well. It's awesome if you are together, to be fair, and you are happy, right? Wait. I didn't read this. That was likely why I let my guard down. I was shown a way of escape and I went and plunged myself to the easiest path. A text showed up on the smartphone I was holding. You wrote to... What? You texted him this? Wow.
Let's meet up, just the two of us next time, Kazami.
It was the man I'd met at the class reunion recently. Huh? His name was Yukimaru. I'd had feelings for him when I was in school. I had felt this in the past, but Yukimaru was somehow very persuasive with words. It might not be enough to say he was a skilled communicator. Don't go. He must have gotten much better at it in the time we'd been apart. I had swapped phone numbers with him by his persuasion.
Wouldn't this be considered cheating?
Yeah. But then again, on the other hand, your husband is cheating on you. Come on. I might have wanted someone to cling to, even while recognizing it would be a problem to receive his texts. I would check my phone to see if I had received anything. I knew that it was what Yukimaru had expected, and what that I couldn't stop myself. Hey, don't worry, you're a pretty little head about it. I mean, we're just good friends, aren't we? I found myself lost in a labyrinth. I wouldn't believe this guy. I wouldn't. The sun had fallen over the horizon. It was time to sleep. I was tired after helping Soyo with the chores. Maybe because Soyo didn't speak much, our life in this castle had begun to lose flavor. I once again recalled the importance of the 2 girls we'd lost. Yet somehow there was a part of me that felt nostalgic in all of this. A nostalgic time where it was just me and someone else, living out a lonely life together. I felt like I had seen such a thing going on myself. Had I experienced the exact same thing? Somewhere during a time long past? Perhaps I had. No, it wasn't worth thinking it over. If I fell down this rabbit hole, I would regret it. I decided to get ready for tomorrow and get into the bed. It was just then that I heard a knock on the door. Huh? In the doorway stood Soyo, who looked embarrassed.
Blanco, if it's alright, could I sleep with you tonight?
I don't... Wow. I did not expect that. Fine. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. When I'm alone, I am somewhat unable to calm myself.
Everyone longed for the warmth of another in difficult times. I was the same. I want to be consoled by someone. I wanted someone to be by my side. Soyo and I went into bed, shoulder to shoulder. She's freaking beautiful.
It has been a while since I went to bed with someone like this. I feel like I'm dreaming. Could I hold your hand?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead, feel free. It's the same choice. Yeah, feel free to.
Your hand is warm. We humans really are gentle creatures. Being like this makes all my uneasiness fly away.
Soyo looked at ease. Seeing Soyo next to me under the covers shed all her years in my eyes. Right now, Soyo didn't look much older than Sima and Lilith. Because she's not old! I was the same as Soyo. It had been a while since I had went to bed with someone by my side. I had shared a bed with someone like this before. I remembered. I could remember who was it. Who. It was someone important. Someone I cared for deeply. Why couldn't I remember? Their name and face. They blurred. Why? Why did tears threaten to spill from my eyes when I tried to remember? Tears began to spill down my cheeks. Tears. Was I crying?
Are you okay? Blanco, you look anxious. Are you in pain? Are you remembering it? Your sins from the past? I had recalled everything. My past, my name, the day I was born, and my upbringing, and my own sins.
Suddenly, Soyo began to speak gravely.
Have you realized, Blanco, why we are being forced to recall our crimes each and every night? I thought about why we were brought here. That was when I realized that we are being punished. Yes, the past is the past. We cannot undo what has been done. Why would be shown such a thing again and again? There is but one reason. The reason is this. We are in hell. What the creator of this world wants most of all is to torture us. I've suffered enough. That is why I think I will disappear soon, as Sima and Lilith have.
Disappear. Soyo would too, like Sima and Lilith had. Leaving behind, if Soyo left, what would happen to me? I'd be all alone.
It won't be just us, Blanco. You'll surely experience the same thing. You will remember all your sins, suffer, and disappear when you've accepted it all.
This is basically what was happening in the anime that I mentioned that is similar when it comes to the story. I mean, the plot.
What do you think? This is the answer I've reached.
Maybe you're right. I wonder. Maybe you're right. It could be as Soyo said. We are given the nightmares each and every night of memories we couldn't stand seeing. The memories we never wanted to see again.
Well, as this is only a theory of mine, I can't guarantee its accuracy. Please ignore what I just said. It was something I came up with.
I'm not going to ignore what you said. Had cemently thought this far about this world, about what kind of place it was, about why we had been brought here. At the very least, Soyo had thought about it, about the situation we found ourselves placed in, and the will behind it all.
We were ready to sleep, and yet I brought up such a difficult topic. My apologies. Why don't we let ourselves rest now? Sweet dreams, Blanco. Good night, Blanco.
Good night. Saying this, I closed my eyes as well. I heard the gentle breaths of sleep beside me. It seemed that Soyo had imminently fallen asleep. How dare you being able to do that? Oh my god, I wish I could do that.
Hey Kazami, is something on your mind?
Yukimaru hit the bullseye and it caught me off guard. Oh, it was the guy saying, okay. Even knowing that it was a coincidence, I was upset at how it seemed like he had read my mind. He didn't know anything about me. Don't look so scared, I'm not gonna eat you up or anything. Yukimaru, I knew him well in the school, but it had been a long time since then. People change. At this point, I knew very little about him. If I didn't choose my words wisely, then Yukimaru would get his way, I thought. Yeah.
How did you know?
Well, the worry is written all over her face.
Unbelievable. I can't believe it was that easy to tell.
No, it's good that you have me. No need to feel down. Everyone has time like those. How about it? Why not get it out of your system? It might help a little. Don't listen to him. This guy is clearly... His motives are clearly... Should I let it out to this man? From the beginning, I had few female friends. I had no one to call a close friend. I had no one. I'm the other way around. I have like a few, very few, like 3-4 close friends, and like no like distant friends. I think it's the better actually way, I would say. I had no one to spill my worries to. I was happy that someone would offer a listening ear at the time.
Actually,
I thought that I want to just get it all out. At some point, I had let my walls down around Yukimaru. That was how much of a natural he was at making people feel at ease. Yeah, but I'm worried that he will use that for other reasons. Exactly. Fucking bastard. As soon as I had pulled the plug, I began to talk about one thing to the next. I ended up telling Yukimaru about everything. He listened while nodding. He didn't reject me. That was why I chose to trust him. And that was a mistake. It had been a while since I had been shown kindness. It felt nice.
You'll stand out crying. Let's go somewhere you won't be seen and calm down to talk.
talk.
He said this and brought me to a love hotel. Really?
We can't, Yukima. Please stop. I can do this. I'm married, don't you know?
We would just meet and exchange a few words. It would be a nice change of pace. That was what I had decided what would happen. Then why was this happening now? Just smack him in the face. It happened easily. I was bewitched by kind words. I was a fool.
You don't change. Your laugh, the way you talk, and that pretty face is all the same. And the dangerous way you can't deny anything completely. You're cute as always, Kazami. I love you.
Bullshit. How long had it been since I'd heard those words? It might have been since my husband had proposed to me. It was nostalgic, to the point it made me sad. Yukimaru ignored my struggle and began to... Let's not get into the details.
Don't say that. You can't. Please don't.
Suddenly, his lips were on hers. And as she was being kissed by a man besides her husband. Then again, I mean, the husband is clearly cheating there, so, like, I mean, I can't judge her. How long had it been since she'd kissed her husband? It had been so long she couldn't remember. Why did her husband marry her? To keep her to himself, to keep her always wanting. She didn't know. She didn't mind that she didn't know. And she didn't want to know. If she learned the reason after all of this, it would just break her.
Well, yeah, it sounds like a lie. What kind of guy would see someone as cute as you and not do anything? And a normal guy would. Come on, leave it to me.
Mind blown. Rain poured down mercilessly. Having hurriedly gathered our clothes that had been drying, Soyo and I relaxed while sipping on tea.
What an awful downpour. It is only seldom that it rains in this world. I'd forgotten all about it. This is the first time it rains since you've come, isn't it? I must forgot since. This place is so beautiful and ethereal. I forgot the weather could change. But it cannot always be sunny. Wind will blow and rain will fall. The beautiful concept of nature is present here. Even for this place is hell, a place to judge those who have sinned. Then why is this place so beautiful? What had God been thinking while creating this place?
God's a weirdo. God's playing around with us because he's got too much free time. Yeah. There is some truth to that, for sure. Tick. Let's go the second option.
I feel like I've come to know you a little better, Blanco. You may seem cared, but you are a very funny and kind person. When I first saw you, I thought you were very scary, and yet now you make me laugh this much. You are a very lovely person, Blanco.
Thank you. I want to know more about you. Tell me more about yourself. First one.
What? Me? Well, what would you do with that information? And I don't have anything interesting to say. It would simply bore you, I think, but if you are alright with that. In that case, Blanco, will you lend me a listening ear to my secret? I feel like speaking on this will ease the burden on my heart. I haven't told anybody about this.
Oh, I heard this before, that line.
I don't want to disappear with this waving on my chest.
Yeah, the thing is, it seems like if something waves on your chest and you talk with me about it, you're going to ascend. And otherwise, you are not, probably. Anyway,
I couldn't tell Sima or Lilith about this, but I feel like I can to you, Blanco. No, I don't need you to understand. You can simply listen. And if there is just one person who knew what I was thinking while I lived then.
Okay, alright then. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough choice. Okay.
Thank you, Blanco.
Looking out at the downpour through the window, Soya began to spin her tail.
Vanilla. Vanilla. It's in Polish. Vanilla.
I should be doing this, and yet...
My husband had yet to come back from work. In the dark room I had a... I've been doing stuff, basically what she is saying.
Yukimaru, come and do what you want with me. I want to see you and soon.
I have gone to a place I couldn't return from. Whoa. I knew that somewhere in my heart. That night I had gone home with light footsteps. I really had a wave lifted off my chest. I learned of it, how deeply my thirst for revenge against my husband, who had left me alone for so long, had been sated despite my deep regret. I met with Yukimaru many times after that. Each time we would make passionate love. We're what society called friends with benefits. Okay, perhaps there wasn't real love between us. But each time we slept together, my heart was filled to the brim. Both in mind and body, I likely had formed a dependence. My husband, as usual, did not care. He did not say a word, seeing me out late, of course. We had long abandoned our marriage. Yet here I was, my eyes full of light. I had learned of the joys of a woman through my first time. Hikimaru would react to how I felt. I could leave my body to him without worrying. I began to find a reason for living. But that joy did not last. One early afternoon, I was shocked at the pregnancy test results. Huh? The result was positive.
I wanted the child. I thought that this child wasn't my husband's. It was mine and Yukimaru's. Oh shit. I mean, you mean you didn't use the protection there?
I couldn't fool my husband when we hadn't ever done anything. The more time passed, what I had done would come to the forefront. It was a gift from a god! That's right, he put a baby into the stone. Yeah, like, you know, in a certain story. I couldn't fool my husband when we hadn't ever done anything. Yeah, I read this, right? The more time passed, what I had done would come to the forefront. The fact that I had cheated on him and gotten pregnant. It was a happy thing to have a child. In any other circumstances, I would be outraged, and yet... What should I do? What should I do? I had considered such a possibility. I had even predicted it may happen. It was in the back of my mind. I had been too careless. I thought it wouldn't happen to me, as if it was happening in some other kind of dimension. What would Yukimaru say when I told him this? He would be like, probably, packing everything and run away. I think that's what kind of person he is. Would he be happy? There was no possibility of that. I was scared. I was so scared to hurt. I would be thrown aside from the beginning. I had felt extremely guilty about what I had been doing with Yukimaru. I was frozen in place, just imagining being thrown aside by him.
I'm a fool. Forgive me, God. Forgive me. Forgive. I beg you. Forgive this fool. I knew that I was betraying him by doing this, yet I couldn't help myself. I couldn't hold myself back any longer. I just want to be loved by someone. I want to be loved so badly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Would I divorce my husband and raise a child on my own? That would be rough. Or would I abort this child and act as if nothing had happened? I mean, that's also an option. Those were both options I had, but would I be able to do that? A decision that important. To be honest, I mean, I would not judge anyone for the second option. Suddenly, a repulsive thought came to mind.
I would be free if I died.
I couldn't stop once I had come up with the idea. I had no place to go, after all. I had nobody to depend on. My mind was filled with despair.
That's right. I mustn't. This isn't right. That's right. I have to take this to the grave.
I couldn't run away. I could commit suicide. Yikes. The method didn't matter, as long as I could hide this from the world. That I had betrayed my husband and conceived this child with another man. Yeah, that's right. I needed to hide it all. Hide that I had cheated on my husband as revenge, that I had fallen in love with Yukimaru. Let it all disappear. The pity I held for self, who I thought to be dedicated. I wanted to erase it all. I walked for a bit after getting off the train. I was a little ways away from the ocean, but I couldn't ask for help to reach it. It was my fault this all happened. I needed to pull the curtain without causing trouble for anyone else. I thought of this walk as another trial for myself.
Was it my fault?
I mean, technically it was all stirred up by the husband, but... I would say it would be... I don't know, I mean, I'm speaking from a completely different perspective because my own, but... I would say it would be better to, you know, end it normally first, and then, you know, find happiness somewhere else, possibly. Suddenly a question bubbled to the front of my mind. Nobody had asked me this, and yet...
It was my fault.
I had caused this all to happen. Of course, I had done something that needed retribution. It was as plain as that. I was getting closer to the cliff. It was the best place to throw myself into the ocean. The same view I'd seen on the internet was before my eyes. I stood at the edge of the cliff and sucked in a breath. Thinking this to be my very last breath, I listened to the sound of the wind. As if judging my crimes, the wind howled past me, as to tell me, "You have sinned!" That's how wind sounds, by the way, when it's talking. A tear fell from my eye and became one with the ocean.
Huh?
Why was I crying?
Ah, I see. I don't wanna die yet.
Why had I pushed myself so far? Everyone deserved the right to be happy, yet here I was taking my child with me with my suicide.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mother is sorry that she's so weak.
I apologized over and over again, then threw myself into the ocean. Oh.
It is so sad to be human. Just one mistake can ruin your entire life.
I mean, that's actually true, yeah. I listened to Soya's story in silence. There was a wave in each and every one of her words, as if to emphasize how real the whole thing was.
I'm a fool, aren't I? What do you think of me in the light of all, Blanco? Of the person who had lived such a pitiful, meaningless life, of a fool like me?
It wasn't your fault. Nobody's at fault here. Okay, the nobody's at fault here is bullshit, but it wasn't your fault.
I could say that. Huh? Okay, are you trying to console me? You are an awfully kind person.
Soya smiled derisively at herself, then took a deep breath, as if she had made a decision. She turned to me.
Would you listen to my very last wish? Blanco, I would like you to punch me just once. If you do not, my sin will stay. I do not need the sympathy of another at the present. I merely need judgment.
Wait, what?
Please, I beg of you, please rain judgment on my crime. I want to be judged by you. It can only be you.
Okay, I can't. No. No. I know if I say no, it will be bad end, okay? Because it's every time like this, but no. No. Soya looked so pitiful, miserable, and hurt. I couldn't look at her anymore. I had reached my limit.
Hey, Blanco, what are you doing?
I hugged Soya's soft body close. I wouldn't let her pull away. From now on, I would.
I'm a sinful person. I can't forgive and you can't, Blanco.
I thought the same. Soya was a sinful person. But maybe, just maybe, if I loved her from the bottom of my heart, would that sin go away? Would I be able to make up for making the mistake of losing Sima and lived here? If I changed myself here, would I be able to make a fresh start? Resetting it all. Even this sin wouldn't go away. If I could lift the burden from her shoulders just a little bit, I would love her. No matter what, I would remember her. Remember from here on out. Sorry. A meadow of white flowers expanded before my eyes. This place had a sweet aroma, as it always had. I took in a breath and turned my eyes upward. How long had been since then? Since I had accepted Soya's past and decided to live with her. We lived our days peacefully. Nothing stood between the both of us. The girl in white did not appear before me after that. What had she been? Was she the watchman for the creator of this world?
I found you, Blanco. As you were here. I was worried since I couldn't find you since the day started. Good morning. I finished making breakfast.
But I didn't need to think of needless things anymore. If I was happy, but was it at all I needed?
Oh, I'd forgotten. I don't need to be so formal with you anymore. I'm sorry. I still haven't gotten rid of my old habits.
Soyo always smiled at me from the bottom of her heart. I could live each day happily just with that. Yeah. Here we were cleansed of all the sins. Regardless of what we did, we could start from the beginning.
We're having grilled fish and miso soup. I'm thinking of making stew for dinner. What do you think?
Where do you get all the ingredients for? I second that. I'll leave it to you. I'm going to say I will second that.
Thanks, Blanco. I can keep cooking because you always tell me it's good and eat every last piece. You see, I am really glad I could meet you. I'm so happy and feel the love just having this simple conversation. I think our meeting was a gift from a god.
We smiled at each other, light shining down on us. The nightmares that ate at us faded with those smiles. If you think about it, meeting like that doesn't make you think, yo, maybe I've made some choices that I considered wrong, but maybe in the end those choices led me to this great situation. So basically, I have nothing to regret, right? We lived, just the two of us, in this world blanketed in white. Forever. Wishing that the day that one of us would disappear would never come. Or I guess disappearing together at the same time, something like that. How is this a bad end? White curtains in the breeze. Okay. I don't know. I don't get. How are those considered bad ends? Seriously. The bad ends were the good ends. Like, what the heck? The good ends are the bad ends. Or should I say the... Not really ends, because we continue on with the story afterwards, right? But... Okay, that was not here. Don't tell me... Oh, okay. Oh... What she asked here is ridiculous. Oh, I don't have the log. Okay, so... She wanted to be judged by getting hit. And we have to... Oh my god. I don't want to. She doesn't deserve that. I can't believe the game is forcing me to do that to continue on with the story. Wow, that was sudden. The guy punched Soyo's face as she wished, and the hand forming a tight fist.
Huh? Come punch me, please. This is enough. I'll need more to be cleansed of my sin. Ah.
Annoying, shut that loud mouth of yours. I rained a flurry of punches down her, over and over again. I punched her face.
I don't like that. That's it. Please punish me until I'm gone, please, please.
Soyo's once beautiful features were now barely visible. Her face swelled a bright red, to the point I couldn't see her expression, and she was bleeding from where her face had cuts.
It hurts, but this is not enough.
Yes, this was her divine punishment. Divine punishment. It was only natural for her to be punished. Not true. It was what she had wished for, most of all. I was only granting her wish. I was only forgiving her for her actions. And yet, why did she look as if she was a victim?
Because she was. That's enough. Thank you, Blanco.
Huh? He continued. What the enough? What was she saying? You asked me to do it, so of course I would keep going until you breathed your last breath.
Stop already. I've had enough.
I wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop, Soyo. Not until your sins were gone. My hands hurt. Those who hurt would get hurt. You knew that, didn't you? You knew that and asked for judgment, didn't you? I knew that. It hurt to hurt each other. It was painful. Yet I still took on that role. I did in Sima and Lilith, and now you too. I would wreck it all. How long I had spent like this. I had broken the bones in my hands, and Soyo had become revolting to look at. Soyo had long gone. She would never open those eyes again. I had granted her wish. I had given judgment to a sinner. The room smelled starkly of blood. Only my heavy breath echoed in the room. I was lonely. I had finally become all alone. I was used to hurting people and killing them. I possibly became used to it here. Or you were like that before. I finally realized the numbness that had taken over my senses. I had committed another crime. I hadn't learned a thing, even if I had come here to have my sins forgiven. Let's not forget that my actual choices were not like this. Here, you are cleansed of all the sins. She had said that. The girl in white had certainly told me that. If that was the truth, then wasn't the crime I committed here the same? Nobody could blame me, could they? Nobody could get mad at me. Of course, the people could. The very last person could had died by my own hand. Nobody would scold me. Somebody get mad at me, please! It's normal to be yelled at when you've done a bad thing, and yet it didn't happen to me. This was a place where the obvious was not obvious. My existence at that moment went unseen by all. This was a sad world. Like Soyo had said, this place
Could be hell.
Oh, that's it. Of course, I must have been punished.
This is nuts.
I wanted to hold you with these hands of mine. I wanted to know what expression you would smile with, and what kind of voice you would call me with. It was a selfish wish, I knew. But beyond that, I felt that I had to live an average, just life. I wanted to be normal. I wanted a normal happiness. Why was I born, and why would I live? What did I want to protect? I love you, more than anyone deserve.
Seeing it run around the meadow cheerfully. Seeing it eat good food and say it's good with a smile. From the beginning, I had only one wish. I wanted to see you all this time. I dreamed my whole life of seeing you.
Would you forgive me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I killed you with these hands. Sorry I couldn't give birth to you. I'm sorry. I'm so weak.
Oh, you're talking about the child.
You were supposed to be the most important thing. That's why, at the very least, when I would be reborn with a new body, I would take on a refreshing name like the breeze that cuts through the meadow. Embraced in a mother's warmth, my consciousness faded.
Good night.
I would wait for the day I could meet you again. And so she passed on. Oh, we are not meeting with Vanilla. Okay, okay. So, chapter 5. I don't know why I'm doing this lately. Chapter 5 tomorrow. For now, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you there. Bye-bye.